This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today that this will be like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. It will enable other excellent people just like you to be able to locate this podcast. Please help spread the word, will you? Today I want to talk about leading from your heart. Now, oftentimes I talk about keep your head in the game, learn as much as you can, and I absolutely believe those to be essential habits, a part of the building blocks for a successful leader in anything. And again, wherever it is you find yourself leading these days, whether it's at home, self-leadership is important. Maybe you say you're just an employee, but someone's watching you. And whether you're an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, a business owner, a leader, a manager at work, there are just certain things you have to do. So that you hear me talking about getting your skill set better, being more organized, making sure you're using the proper time, you're using time in the proper manner. And those are all important without question. But I don't want to ever give you the impression that this is just a matter of the head. It's just a matter of policies and procedures. It's just a matter of A plus B always equals C. It's just a matter of if you do this, this will happen, then this will happen. Because we are not working with robots or computers. We're working mostly with people. So there are certain things that you need to do. So our heart, let's just define that. We kind of know when we hear somebody differentiating between our head and our heart, we mostly know what they're talking about. Our head is talking about the facts that we've learned. It can also mean some wisdom as well, and certainly reflected life experience, which is so essential for all of us. But our heart is more where we live, the emotions, that part of us that connects with other people. And oftentimes a leader can seem so aloof from everyone else and so preoccupied with all that they have going that it may indicate at times we're not able to emotionally connect with people around us. So how do we lead with our heart? Not excluding our head, not excluding whatever the bottom line is for your organization or the several bottom lines. Not that we're not still demanding excellence out of ourselves. Still, there are certain things that have to be done. That goes without saying. But how do we connect at the heart level in our organization and with the people we lead? And the first thing is you need to make sure that you can connect what you're doing to a mission. And I'm identifying or defining mission for our purposes today as something that's bigger than you, larger than your organization, larger than just any one or any group of us. And it helps us to lead from the heart when we understand that our work is connected to something larger outside of ourselves. You may think this is religious sounding language, and it certainly has those components, but this is just a life principle. Everyone wants to be involved in things that will outlive them and outlast them, things that are going to make an impact. And oftentimes when you're on the shop floor, or you're on the sales floor, or you're in a meeting, it's really hard to see how any of this that we're involved with is any bit life-altering or is going to live on years, decades, and centuries after we're gone. But let's just step back for a moment. Why are you doing what you're doing for the limited amount of time span that you and I are here, with the limited amount of resources that we possess? What is it that we want to be connected to? What is your mission? Is your mission to leave people better than you found them? Is it to develop people? Well, then see, whatever it is your bottom line is, you are still there to make a difference, not just in the world, but with the employees and with your fellow humanity. Connecting it. Now, for some of you, it's easier to do that. You can see that there is indeed a mission larger than yourself in what you're doing. For others of us, it may take some prayerful examination just to kind of figure out what is the purpose that is larger than what we are doing right now. And if you can make a connection I'm not talking about making something up, but if you can see the connection between what you're doing, what you're giving your life for, at home, at work, in all of the various places you're involved, and your mission, it will just help you to be able to lead from your heart. I think another way, especially those of you who are leaders and managers or supervisors of people, is don't leave anyone behind. Don't just accept the fact that some will get it, some will add value to our organization, and some are just a drain. Try to get to know the employee, the person who maybe is underperforming. Perhaps if you took some time and really got to know them, you'd find out there's some added stressors in their lives. Don't just assume because they're not cutting it right now that they will never be able to. Now, there are folks that are like that, and there will come a time when you will just have to go your separate ways. There's no way of getting around that. But seek to be helpful. How can you contribute? It's a part of your mission. How can you contribute? Now, I know there's the bottom line that we're all interested in and have to be interested in. But how can you right now, pour into somebody's life to make a difference in their life so that they can make a difference in the lives of others? They may not look like the most promising candidate today, but don't just automatically write them off. See if you can't invest some heart time in them, some time with them, to empathize, to listen, not just to listen, but to listen to really understand their story. I think another way that we can lead from the heart is look around at the people in your organization and ask the question, what is it that the people desire and what do they need? Are we asking our people to do the impossible with little to no resources? Why don't you work into the budget to get them the resources that they need? Are you being generous with your employees? Are you being faithful to them? Are you sharing your time? Are you spending time with the group who is going to move the organization forward? Those are wonderful questions that you and I need to continually ask ourselves. I think another way that would help us to lead from the heart, and especially those whose brains are wired toward facts and figures and bottom lines, is build in some time to have more fun. Now, everything every day is not fun. And a lot of what you and I have to attend to week in, week out, it becomes chores, it's a job, it's work, and fun is okay, but it's just not going to be something we can do 24/7. Yet, with that being said, many of us are far too serious, and unfortunately, we take ourselves far too seriously. Why don't you work in, whether you want to do it monthly, that may be too much for many of us, but quarterly, a dinner, a party, a get-together, a just having fun. It's through these fun, shared experiences that hearts are connected. But now, sure enough, we get connected to people through going through deep valleys and trials with people and helping people. That is true. But we also connect with people relationally, and especially when it's lighthearted and fun. And as much as you and I may have to speak to groups, let's not forget about the power of encouraging one person, finding a person who today needs you to pour your life into them. Perhaps they're a little discouraged. Perhaps they're going through a really rough patch right now in life. And one of the ways that we can lead in our heart is just to believe in them, listen to them, affirm them, encourage them. I'm going to take off from that for just a moment and say, I'm very good, I think, at listening with my ears, or at least acting like I was listening. Listening was not something that I particularly always came naturally to me. But I came across a phrase some time ago that I have borrowed, and it's just merely listening with your heart. That means not just my ears, not just looking at them so that they will understand and know, and I have affirmed that I'm receiving their words, but try to enter into the the story of their life. Try to imagine what it would be like if you were experiencing what they have just gone through. What if this was your story? Allow what they're telling you to connect at your heart level, and you have to listen with your whole being. I think the other way that you can lead from your heart is if this does not become a value for you and I, it will never happen because we pretty much live our values. And if you want to live like this, to lead from your heart, you're going to have to make one of your values to be connectedness. That you see there is an important aspect to being connected with other people. You're going to say, Dr. Ron, why in the world are you talking so much about relationship? I want to give you a new definition of leadership for you. It's not new, but it may be new for some that are listening today. Leadership isn't just numbers and facts and figures and bottom lines and hiring and firing, though it does include that. Leadership is a relationship. For people to follow you, they have to believe in you. Now, they'll follow you for a paycheck for a while, but they'll be looking for the exit ramp as soon as possible because people will follow people they trust, they have confidence in, and that they are in a relationship with. You are the one leader. Quit blaming others. Let's take our own responsibility. We are the ones who affect how positive or negative the environment is in the workplace. Now, I know there's some downer kinds of folks who seem to affect the atmosphere wherever they come or infect the atmosphere. But as a leader, you're really the one in charge and the one who will model. And people are watching your attitude as much as they're watching your actions. If you go around giving encouragement, if you speak positive words, if you make yourself available, they know how busy you are, but if you periodically, regularly make yourself available, that you listen, you truly listen, that you spend the hardworking time to get to know the people, and you're still about excellence, you're still about the bottom line, but this is how you go about building up these positive relationships. That also goes along with building trust. If people know that you keep a confidence, they tell you a dark secret, as it were, and you go around and spread that word everywhere, people will not have confidence in you, nor will they ever confide in you again. One of the great ways to lead from the heart, to get connected to people, is to build trust. That you are a person who will hold the confidence, who will be thoughtful and helpful and not judgmental. Well, with all of this that we're telling ourselves that we need to be if we're going to lead from the heart, there's one that really should have started out the whole podcast. And here's what that is. You just have to be you. You have to authentically be you. Everybody seems to have a meter that a noise, a bell goes off if they sense we're being disingenuous and we're not being honest and authentic. Being authentic means my actions are absolutely intrinsically tied in to my actions. What I believe and my actions are the same. What I say I value is what I value in everyday life, and anyone who spends time with me will know that. Perhaps we've just taken the long way around to just simply say this: be a caring leader. That's how you'll lead from the heart. Again, remember, the people that work with you are not robots. They're not computer programs. They're flesh and blood people who have real pain, experience real setbacks, and have real heartache. And perhaps there's not anyone else who really much cares. Leader, why don't you deputize yourself today to be the one who cares? You have to treat the people around you with caring behavior, attitudes, and actions. We have to show and need to show appreciation. Seek to understand. We need to be courteous and not rude. We need to pay attention. And if we want our people to be loyal to us, that first starts out by us expressing and showing loyalty. if you want to really make a difference in this world, just set out every day to encourage someone. People desperately need to be encouraged. When you lead from your heart, leader, others are going to be touched, both inside and outside of your organization. Put the people first. Listen to them. Really learn to know their story. Let them know that you are there for them as well as the organization. And when you lead, not just from your head and not just from the bottom line, which we have to do, but you also lead with your heart, people will rally around that kind of a leader and that kind of an organization, and you will be able to accomplish such incredible things that you never dreamed possible. You have been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. And wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief written review. It will enable other excellent people just like you to be able to locate this podcast. Remember, my leadership friend, you are doing far better than you think you are. You really, truly are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.